Imagine you had a great idea and shared it with the world. To make it a better place. To make it cleaner and quieter. To make people more comfortable. Businesses more successful. The world more connected. Would an idea that great ever fly? It will, and like nothing else. Boeing, forever new frontiers.
You talk too much. I can't believe the things that you say.
Joe Biden, Newt Gingrich,
Sam Brownback, Bill Richardson,
Senator Hagel, Carl Levin,
Ted Kennedy,
Lindsey Graham, Patrick Leahy, Maxine Waters, Mike Pence,
John McCain. How would you assess her as a candidate for president?
I think she would be a very formidable candidate.
Oh, I think she's incredibly formidable and has got to be the front runner and the odds-on pick right now. But this is a marathon. There's a long way to go.
Do you basically have to just hang in there and hope that she makes a mistake?
No, I don't think so.
Do you want to elaborate on that, sir?
Not really.
How would you run against her?
On ideas and issues. And that's what I love about campaigning, is it's a competition of ideas and issues.
She and her husband are the most formidable pair of politicians in America. I think you have to give Barack Obama a tremendous amount of credit. I think he forced Senator Clinton's hand by weeks.
Today I'm announcing the formation of a presidential campaign exploratory committee.
Let's take Bill Richardson. Now, you and I know Bill Richardson. Does the country know him? Probably not.
1% in our poll.
1%. He's probably a blank slate at this point.
To get that done, you need real-life experience. All I'm saying is a lot of these folks can make speeches about all these things. I've actually done it. I'm not interested in being vice president. I got a better job as governor of New Mexico. If I don't get the nomination, I'll come back and be governor. I believe the country would be ready for a woman president, an African-American president, Hispanic president. But I wouldn't run as a Hispanic candidate. I would run as an American, proud to be Hispanic.
Can a pro-choice candidate get the Republican nomination?
I think it's tough. I don't know that it's impossible, but you look at Iowa and the caucus goers, I think there's 70% plus of Republican Iowan caucus goers are pro-life. What I think we really have got to do today is sit down with Democrat leaders and say, what will you support? What will you support in this effort? Nobody wants to leave a civil war in the middle of the Middle East.
Well, first, I'm not a candidate for any office. I may be. I'll make that decision soon.
So if you run, you're going to run as a Republican?
If I would decide to run, I will run as a Republican. But parties should be the framework of philosophies and beliefs. Now, if that goes so far away from what I believe, then I wouldn't sit here this morning and say, well, there's no way I wouldn't join another effort or run as president of the United States as an independent.
If one of those three seals it off, and they're all good people, and if one of them ends up being clearly the nominee, then there's no reason for me to run anyway, because they would have been clearly the nominee.
You sound as if you think about running for president as a last resort, not as a first resort.
Exactly. I mean, nobody's ever said that quite that way, but you're right.
As is obvious, we've been tied up very much in this Iraq issue, which is far more important than any political campaign, but we're making all the preparations to move forward.
And when will that be?
We have not decided. I like the shot with the sunglasses. Look, this is part of the American political dialogue today. These are the 527s, which many of us have tried to get rid of, not for this particular reason.
He is now, if you will, a prisoner of war once again. I mean, he was a prisoner of war in Vietnam in a real sense, where he was, brutally tortured. He is now hostage to the success or failure of this policy, and yet he has very little ability to affect it.
As a matter of fact, Barbara Lee and Lynn Woolsey and I, we're going to Iowa, and we're going to New Hampshire. We're going with our anti-Iraq agenda, and we're going to help people in town hall meetings understand who is nuancing and tiptoeing and who's really talking about getting out of Iraq.
Let me ask, Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama?
I don't have a choice. They both got to prove themselves.
John Kerry will probably make his judgment decision, I expect, soon. I'm going to support John. Well, I wouldn't underestimate amid. I didn't agree with him on a lot of things, but I don't think he should be underestimated. He's going to, I'm not an expert on the Republican nomination.
I don't know the answer to that. We have an abundance of riches on the Republican side of the aisle. I'm going to startle your viewers and agree a little bit with my friend Maxine and say that I actually think the American people are looking for leadership that will speak plainly and boldly.
Do you tell the president or somebody high up in the White House this?
I tell people as high as I get a chance to.
And?
They take notes.
You talk too much. I can't believe the things that you say.
Imagination is the bridge to the future. Boeing, forever new frontiers.